Some breaking news just dropped for Pokemon that is actually really good news. I would say most people would think this is great news, and as per the usual, this is one of those topics where I need to know your thoughts about it. This is going to be very beneficial for Pokemon Winds and Waves, and we even have a little bit of information about Generation 11. Gen 11 is a game that we have like very minimal information about, but every now and then we just get like a little glimpse into that game, so stick around because this is a pretty good topic. And as always, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications, help me reach my goal of 50,000 subs. I greatly appreciate it. Let's hop right into it. So from one of the most reputable guys up in the league space and news space of Pokemon right now, says Winds and Waves directed by Mr. Hiroyuki Tani, which I hope I am pronouncing his name correctly, with co-direction from Ichiraku, which I hope I am pronouncing his name correctly as well. And the same exact kind of information from Central League saying that Pokemon Winds and Waves will be directed by Hiroyuki Tani, the director of the Pokemon Sword and Shield DLC, and Ichiraku, the director of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC. This would mean after a long 10 years, the era of Ohmori as director of new Pokemon generations is over, and this has now been confirmed based on the Terra League documents. Here's a fantastic chart that shows you the games that these different directors have basically worked on, right? Like Gen 1, 2. We have quite a few gens here and here for Ohmori. And now here is my question to you. Which one of these is your favorite era of Pokemon? For me, it's got to be the Masuda era. Hands down, I think these are some banger generations right here. I do love the first two generations though, but I would say these speak to me the most. Now I want to break some stuff down. So basically, a lot of people, they love Ohmori, but many people, like many people out there, say that these are probably some of the worst Pokemon games ever made, just in comparison, like the grand whole idea of all the Pokemon games as a whole, right? I'm not the one saying that. I'm just saying that is definitely a very popular take on the internet these days. And so the reason why this is good news is because a brand new director means a genuinely fresh vision into the future of Pokemon. So Ohmori has been a very important figure to modern day Pokemon, but he has directed many generations in a row, so it is kind of time for somebody else to take that place for now, because like I said, we have something with Gen 11 that I'm going to talk about in this video as well. But from generation 7 to 9, he has been main person, I guess, to shape those generations. And so now a new director doesn't always mean it's going to be a better game in general, but it's just like a fresh view, a fresh vision, just like in movies. Like movies are the exact same thing where they'll have a different director just to give the movie a completely different vibe, right? If that movie's doing like a sequel or, there's like an additional movie in that franchise. And so now the new director already does have experience with Pokemon, just being involved with the games for many years. So they're not just like randomly picking somebody from the streets or just someone random that has never worked on any game in general or never worked with Pokemon. This is somebody that should understand Pokemon, that could be giving Winds and Waves a brand new vision. Basically having these people that have been helping Pokemon have a chance to lead one, if that makes sense. I feel like some of the things they could really be focusing on is like gameplay, exploration, the game design, so game design, I'm going to talk more so about like the graphics side of things, like the vision with that, because it looks very similar to Scarlet and Violet and Legends ZA in a way, but I think it is better looking, and I am very curious to see if the final version of the games will look different when it is completely done and released. Or at least we see the next trailer, right? Pokemon is obviously an extremely ambitious company. They've always tried to change things, going more into an open world exploration with bigger environments, different Pokemon encounters with animations, more multiplayer, which I still feel like they are struggling with the multiplayer side of things. But hey, one day we're gonna get there, and they need to lock in now because we have the Pokemon MMO coming out very soon. And now also with Ohmori, we do have stuff to talk about with him. He is not completely out of, the Pokemon world or game creating atmosphere just yet. What's very interesting to me is that they have worked on the DLC for Sword and Shield and then Scarlet and Violet, which the DLCs were great. I really loved the Scarlet and Violet DLC especially. I thought it was really fun and just had a unique vibe to it. And so I feel like that is great news. I think a lot of people do agree with that as well. A lot of people did enjoy the DLC from those games, and I'm hoping that this means the new directors could see what players liked, what did not work with the last couple of generations, what systems need to be improved, how players explore. I think exploration is going to be one of the most important things within Generation 10 because it's open world. 100% it's going to be completely open world. And Scarlet and Violet, a lot of places just kind of felt empty. Legends ZA I don't think had that feeling just because it was in a smaller map and it was in a city, so it was kind of like hard for things to be empty, if that makes sense. So if the developers take all the lessons from the past couple years of Pokemon and apply them to a brand new game, Winds and Waves, from the beginning, I really think we could benefit from that and we could be playing a better Pokemon game. And now going back to this chart, I think it's really important that we don't have, the same exact person be the director of every single Pokemon game. It's great to get a different vision. Obviously, Winds and Waves is not going to abandon everything. The new directors are not going to just completely reboot Pokemon. It's not going to be everything being scrapped in the past. It's basically they're going to keep everything, hopefully improve stuff, performance, NPCs, the towns, the stories are always great. I love the stories. Animations, there's a lot that needs to improve, honestly. And what's nice about this is that Ohmori is not gone. He is a very important figure within Pokemon, and he's not actually gone. We do have leaks and rumors of him actually working on some other game. I believe he was overseeing something called P30. Now, we still don't know exactly what that is. P30, it could stand for Project 30. I've kind of tried to break it down, and I still can't really think of anything of what else this could be besides maybe a new Legends game. It could be maybe some sort of, classic collection. It could even be the Generation 3 remakes that we just recently got leaked that are hopefully coming out very soon here. So Ohmori is doing something within Pokemon, and the reason why we think it's important is because he's not a guy that works on the lower stuff of Pokemon, like the random stuff. He's a pretty important dude that is working on something big. So whatever project P30 is, it has got to be a pretty important one. And somebody even within the responses of this Ball Guy post said, no Ohmori. Ball Guy said on Generation 11. And so that makes me wonder, is Ohmori working on Generation 11? Or maybe does that mean he's not working on Generation 11, but it sounds like he is working on Gen 11. Now, I don't know if that's what P30 is. I couldn't imagine if Generation 11 would even just be called P30 internally, unless the only reason why is because they're starting it during the 30th anniversary. So it is very possible Ohmori is working on that next gen. Without a doubt, they've started Generation 11, even if it's in like early development, even if they haven't started any gameplay yet. Definitely made some decisions with that generation, probably like where the locations taking place and maybe, some basic things within the game. But it is weird, so why would we have new directors for just Winds and Waves and then Ohmori would come back for Generation 11 potentially? Somebody said, why does Gen 10 have a director and a co-director but not Generation 11? Ball Guy says, I don't know what position he's occupying for it, just that he's involved more there internally. So I don't know if Ball Guy is responding about like the Generation 11 thing, so maybe Ohmori is working with Generation 11, or I don't know, maybe he's not like the main director. Very weird. And we do have somebody responding to the co-director and the director stuff for this generation saying, if real, it makes sense. Masuda is getting out the Miyamoto treatment at the Pokemon Company, so Ohmori is most likely in a producer role. Makes sense to give the DLC directors the reins, though I personally would love another game directed by Iwao, which I'm hoping I'm pronouncing his name correctly as well. Ball Guy is saying that he is at the helm of Seed prototyping, which is the MMO game. So it seems like he's working on that official Pokemon MMO game, which still should be in production. It seems like they're still working on that. That should be dropping in a few years. I think that might be the next game that I'm really looking forward to other than Winds and Waves. I think it's got to be like Winds and Waves, Pokemon Seed, the MMO game, and then maybe Generation 3 ports. I think that would be that's a great lineup we got going on in the future. So let me know your thoughts and if you think this is great news to have brand new directors, a director and a co-director from Winds and Waves. Maybe this game is going to heavily benefit from having two directors because you could have them just kind of like bashing ideas back and forth. And once again, I'm not hating on anybody or any of these directors in the past. I still think Ohmori is a very important role within Pokemon as a whole, so I just think it's good news because it's always amazing to have a fresh view of something. It's great to have somebody with a different mindset to come in here and give us hopefully something very different. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you were real watching this far in the video, comment down below star, just the word star. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.